Today on Rappler, the Supreme Court stops the implementation of the reproductive health law.
No, the shots were fired at the PNP vehicle, and I think at that point, right after, soon right after, you could hear a volley of return fire.
Gunmen fire at the convoy of senatorial candidate Jack Enrile. And Pope Francis calls on world leaders to protect creation in his inaugural homily. Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. The Supreme Court temporarily stops the implementation of the reproductive health law. Implementation was supposed to start March 31 after the Health Department approves the law's implementing rules and regulations Friday. The justices vote 10-5 in favor of the status quo ante order, which is effective for 120 days or 4 months. The justices who voted for the order are Presbítero Velasco Jr., Teresita de Castro, Arturo Brion, Diosdado Peralta, Lucas Bersabin, Roberto Abad, Martin Villarama Jr., Jose Perez, Jose Mendoza, and Bienvenido Reyes. Those who voted against are Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno, Antonio Carpio, Estela Perlas Bernabe, Mariano del Castillo, and Marvic Leonen. The court sets oral arguments on June 18th. Pro-life groups welcome the order. After more than a decade of opposition by the influential Catholic Church, legislators passed the measure late last year. Our social media post of the day comes from Twitter user Jim Paredes. He says Damasos have forced a cordus interruptus, hopefully a temporary setback. The Supreme Court allows re-electionist Senator Alan Peter Cayetano to intervene in the case filed by media companies against the Commission on Elections' revised airtime rules for political ads. Media companies question COMELEC Resolution 9615, which allows only 120 minutes of television advertising and 180 minutes of radio advertising per candidate. In an earlier statement, Cayetano said the restrictions will lessen the opportunities for voters to get to know their candidates. COMELEC Chair Sixto Brillantes Jr. says he has no problem with the Supreme Court allowing a third party in the case. Cayetano welcomes the decision, saying this shall serve as the first step to leveling the playing field for the candidates and having a more mature election system. United Nationalist Alliance campaigns in southern Mindanao. The opposition coalition criticizes the government's response to the provinces most affected by Typhoon Pablo. Ayi Makaraig files this video blog.
To give or not to give? That is the question. The United Nationalist Alliance is here in southern Mindanao, caught in the awkward position of campaigning in typhoon-hit provinces. Una senatorial bets visit Compostela Valley, one of the provinces worst hit by Typhoon Pablo last December. They decide not to give donations, wary of COMELEC rules against vote buying. Instead, they opt for market visits and not rallies and just greet people and shake their hands. Una visits Maco, Mabini, and Pantukan, but notably skips hard-hit towns like New Bataan. The alliance criticizes the administration for the supposed inefficient delivery of services to the victims and calls for the passage of the land use bill. But some candidates are more engaged in the issue than the others.
Ilang buwan na yung Typhoon Pablo nakaraan. Hanggang ngayon, wala pa rin tayong makitang visible na rehabilitation na pwede mo sabihin nag-normalize na yung buhay ng tao dyan sa Davao Oriental. O kanino kasalanan yun? Gobyerno. Eh hindi naman mo pwedeng sabihin na kulang pera nila. Dahil may calamity fund, may presidential social fund, may 500 billion si Pinoy na binigay ng Kongreso na he can realign to any project that he wants. Discretion niya yun. Miski yung PDAP ko na hindi na nila nirelease for 2.5 years, dibigay nila sa Typhoon Pablo.
I think because VP Pina is in charge of housing, then I'm sure that's in his plan. But since we're not into housing, he hasn't discussed it with us.
Una senatorial bets campaign on their own with Vice President Jeju Marbinay, former President Joseph Estrada, and Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile all unable to make it. Still, Una hopes to replicate the success of the Estrada-Binay 2010 tandem with the 2 winning big in Compostela Valley and the 3 Davao provinces. Una will campaign in Davao City and nearby provinces in the coming days. This is Una's second Mindanao leg following its rallies in northern Mindanao earlier this month. Whether it can translate support for its 2 leaders to votes for its senatorial candidates is the big question here in the so-called Arab country. Ayim Makariig, Rappler, Tagum City.
Gunmen fire at a police vehicle following the 7-car convoy of senatorial candidate Jack Enrile in Mawab, Compostela Valley. Enrile says they were traveling from the town of Nabunturan when he heard 2 distinct gunshots. Enrile downplays the incident, saying, quote, "It's isolated."
It was a little scary. It was a little scary.
He shot himself?
It hit the Philippine National Police vehicle, the Compostela Valley Provincial. Hindi po sa amin. No, the shots were fired at the PNP vehicle, and I think at that point, right after, soon right after, you could hear a volley of return fire.
Together with your convoy?
It was behind us, about 2 or 3 vehicles behind ours.
Together with your convoy, sir?
It was following us. I'm not sure what you would like to call it. If you're pertaining, if it was me, then it probably was not an ambush. But if it was the Philippine National Police, it was probably a target of opportunity for somebody who has some gripes against the Philippine National Police.
The son of Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile says this incident cannot be compared to what happened to his father in 1972.
Similarities at all. I mean, the difference is like night and day. I don't believe that we should imply anything by this.
So, sir, you...
The family of Sulu Sultan Jamalul Kiram III asks the government to provide legal assistance to Filipinos detained in Sabah. Foreign Affairs spokesman Raul Hernandez says the Kiram family sent a letter through the public attorney's office. The Foreign Affairs Department says at least 10 members of the Kiram family are among the 104 people arrested by Malaysian security forces for being involved in the Sabah standoff. Hernandez says the DFA is also asking the Malaysian government to allow consular officials to give legal assistance to the detainees in Sabah. The Philippine government says the leader of the armed Filipino group in Sabah has not been seen in the Philippines despite Malaysia's claims on Friday that Raja Muda Agbimuddin Kiram left Sabah. On Monday, Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao Acting Governor Mujib Hataman says, "We have not seen him in the Philippines, but the Malaysian government already has a declaration there are no more royal security forces in Lahad Datu." Hataman adds that in his last conversation with Agbimuddin last March 1 or 2, Agbimuddin indicated he wanted to be fetched from Sabah. The Kiram family spokesman Abraham Ijirani denies Agbimuddin has left Sabah. The Philippines launches its latest bid for a spot in the elite gaming map with $1 billion casino complex. ILO reports.
Glitz, glamour, gaming and guests. These are the promises of the new mega casino and tourism complex in Manila Bay. Soler Resorts Casino is the first of the $4 billion development project to open its doors to the public. Bloomberry Resorts, the operator of Soler, spends $1 million to bring the stars and sparkles on opening day. But Soler's opening is not controversy-free. 21 years ago, the Manila City Council prohibited reclamations on Manila Bay out of fear it would lead to flooding. The council reversed its decision, green-lighting the casino complex. But activists have launched a catchy campaign called Save the Sunset. Maybe that's why Feng Shui experts were called in, and Soler was opened exactly 2:28 on March 16 for good luck. Betting on these grand projects are the Philippines' richest, Ricky Razon, Henry C., Andrew Tan, and maybe John Kokonway too. Billionaires Jane Packard from Australia, Lawrence Ho from Macau, and controversial Kazuo Okada from Japan want a piece of what may become the newest gaming capital in Asia. Analysts and investors say Manila will rival Macau and Singapore, the world's 2 biggest casino destinations.
By the time you're in the 3 or 4 casinos in the entertainment city, it becomes a very big destination. So yes, in that regard, just like the Cotai Strip in Macau became a big destination, like Singapore has become a big destination. So that will happen.
Razon's Bloomberry Resorts wants to attract the high rollers, the Asians who spend up to 50 million pesos per visit through lower taxes. Compared to Macau's 39%, Manila will only slash 27% off the players' winnings. High rollers have it even better with just 15%.
It's mostly Chinese, probably 60%, 65% will be coming from the Guangdong, Pearl River Delta area, the same customer that goes to Macau, and some throughout China, some to the north. Then Southeast Asia would be a next good market, and then probably Taiwan. Maybe.
Operators say the complex may not bring in the headcount for tourism, but it may become the Philippines' $6 billion moneymaker.
Our contribution is more on revenue than it is bodies of people coming in, so it may be not so many people coming, but their spend is tremendously higher than an average tourist.
Salazar alone has brought home hundreds of Philippine overseas workers who managed, cooked, or served customers in Macau, Singapore, or Dubai. More jobs are waiting for OFWs when the other 3 gaming and hotel projects open. After years of priming up entertainment city, the goal to put Manila on the Asian hub of casino networks is starting to come true. So far, the odds are for casino money and tourism dollars. ILO, Rappler, Manila.
Pope Francis calls on world leaders to protect, quote, the beauty of creation during his inaugural Mass in St. Peter's Square Tuesday. He says, "Let us be protectors of creation. Let us not allow omens of destruction and death to accompany the advance of this world." The Pope earlier said he named himself after St. Francis of Assisi, whom he describes as, quote, the man of poverty, the man of peace, the man who loves and safeguards creation. Before the Mass, Francis also receives the pallium and the fisherman's ring, symbols of the papacy. Defying security concerns, Pope Francis rides an open-air Pope-mobile on his way to St. Peter's Square and stops to greet those attending the ritual. Well, let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 7, former United States Secretary of State Hillary Clinton says she backs gay marriage in an online video released by the Human Rights Campaign. Clinton says she supports gay marriage both, quote, personally and as a matter of policy and law. While Clinton pushed gay, lesbian, and transgender rights during her 4-year term as America's top diplomat, this is her strongest statement supporting it yet. At number 9, security blogger Brian Krebs writes about his experience of having his blog attacked and his home raided by police last March 14th. Krebs says the denial of service attack on his site didn't last long, but adds he's concerned about, quote, swatting, or the practice of tricking actual police to raid innocent people. Krebs believes the incidents are related to an earlier report he made about underground sites peddling credit reports and social security numbers. And at number 10, Nora Honor and Eddie Garcia get top acting honors at the 7th Asian Film Awards in Hong Kong. Honor earns her trophy from her powerful portrayal as a barren Bajau midwife in the Brillante Mendoza film Thy Womb. Garcia wins 2 trophies for playing a grouchy gay man and his faithful dog in Buakaw. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. Every story on Rappler has a mood meter which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click how you feel and your vote comes down to the mood navigator in the middle of the front page, which crowdsources the mood of the day. It also gives you the top 10 stories that have gotten the most votes on their mood meter. If you take a look today, we go from issues of morality in many instances, the Pope's everything to do with the Pope, suicide, UP student kills self, understanding suicide. The story that's gotten the most number of votes is UP Manila, Chancellor, no guilt, and being gay. If we take a look today, today's story, Hillary Clinton backs gay marriage, 60% inspired, and being gay really 50% inspired, 35% happy, all the green contributing to the mood of the day. Today, most people are inspired. Well, that's Rappler's Newscast for today, Tuesday, March 19th, 2013. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.